Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to the Spiritual Unity Radio Network, a station dedicated to the concept that all manifestations of the divine are equally valid. Join Reverend Terry Power HP, Robin McKean, and all the hosts for programming covering a wide range of spiritual topics, right here on Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to an emerging forest, a safe place where we have the freedom to think about life without judgment. We take a look at society, we examine it, and we allow for the possibility of something new, something different. And now, here's your host, Alan Ritter.
Well, welcome everyone to this last final week of May 2018. It's the 27th, and it's another Sunday night and another Sunday night show with an emerging forest. And this week happens to be a very interesting week because we are 1 week out from the Touch Mother Earth Festival in, I believe it's northern New Jersey, but Dave will correct me if I'm wrong. And
do you even know if it's northern or northwestern or central western?
All right. So what town are you in, Dave?
Well, here's the key thing. The town is Washington, but because there are various Washingtons in New Jersey, it's Warren County.
So what county?
Thank you, by the way. Warren County.
Warren County. So it's the Washington, New Jersey in Warren County. Do you have a zip code on that?
07882.
All right. So basically we've had a show earlier where we sort of promoted Touch Mother Earth, and you and I wanted to get together sort of with a hype episode, and this is the week that it came out for that particular episode. So what's been happening since we last touched base, since we last touched the Mother Earth?
Well, I'll tell you, things can start out, take 10 months of planning, and then the 10 weeks before is when it really takes hold, and now we're less than 10 days, and it's fast and furious. So I have earlier on created the music schedule, which is a little easier because I did that for 6 years at Mount Eden when it was called the Kindred Spirits Fair. But now that we've expanded and increased it to include Friday, I have 30 workshops, and trying to juggle all 30 and what days and times they can come is just one part of it. But the beauty is I'm creating a composition. If you think about it for a moment, it's like an orchestra. I have to think about the trombones and the flutes and all the different things, and I want them to all gel together. And so that takes a lot of finesse, and it doesn't all come together until right now, literally. And I'm really excited because my vision that started to where it is now has evolved, and things that I wanted in my first year didn't happen. Now they're happening. We're having some really cool things in my vision, and I'm really excited. So things have updated probably since our last show. We have fire dancers at night. We have glass blowing during the day. We have working with tools that don't require power, where we're going to build things, and that is one workshop for the adults and 2 workshops for the kids. If you think about it for a moment, my goal is to have some things where you walk away with some knowledge, but maybe you walk away with something that's lifelong. And, for example, with the kids building, we're taking recycled lumber. They're going to make their own little box. Then we've had the Rutgers Gardens donate flowers. We've got the potting soil, and they're going to actually build a box, learn about the earthworms, the cycle of the butterflies, etc., and then create their own little planter box with flowers or herbs and be able to take it home. So it's art meets nature in that case. That's a beauty.
So it's
as
always with the always with the evolution of these things, you have this vision, and in that one instant, you have a vision, and you say, and then you're disappointed the first year that it didn't all happen, or you're disappointed the first time because it didn't all happen. But then you realize that a lot of it is has to do with you. And
sure.
the first time Touch Mother Earth happened, most of your vision didn't happen because it was all about you, and you weren't ready to have it all happen. And isn't it much more fulfilling to see it start to happen of its if it could be an analogy could be a flower, you could see, oh, the seasons are coming and going, and my garden called Touch Mother Earth is actually bringing forward a more robust thing that in some of the parts of it I didn't even imagine could happen.
That's certainly a part of it. I wouldn't use the word disappointed because I had a vision and I put it all out there, and then I had to see what came about. And when I originally created Touch Mother Earth, it was based upon a little bit was based upon the original festivals that occurred at that event, and then there was a lull. And during that lull, I did protests for March Against Monsanto, and I realized in doing that was only a 3-hour hurrah. It wasn't covered by the news. Everybody's protests, rah, 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 and then you go home and you feel like nothing happened. And I was asked if I would take over the march. And during that time, I said I would only take it over if we could do it over a couple of days and provide solutions, because you just can't protest. Protesting has a limited resource to helping people evolve. By doing this event with the 30 workshops, everybody can ask questions. There may be literature or websites or things that they can take home with them. And the vendors that I handpick are earth conscious, so again, they're providing solutions. That
thought is why I don't protest.
I would agree with you.
I basically supply the solution. I say, here's the cheap produce. I don't say, well, let's protest against something, because you get to the end of the day and all you are is angry.
Yep. And your radio program is a good example of a solution. You interview great people, you bring them on and explore their mission, and people learn from it. I adore that.
Yeah,
I want to
create a resource. I mean, you want to create a resource that happens 3 days a year and isn't about pointing fingers. Accept it yourself. Hey, I don't know this. Oh, this is interesting. I'd like to learn about this. Oh, how can I put my feet down differently during the rest of the year from what I learned at Touch Mother Earth?
I would agree. It's one of the things that happens with this festival is it doesn't end after the 3 years. All these 30 workshops are people perhaps that I put into various workshop time slots over the course of the year. And I use the Garden of Healing, I use Soma Yoga Center, and I find where they belong. And that includes the musicians as well. I produce events all year long. But then we culminate at the festival, and then we go back and individually create what we've learned and share it back out to the public. And it's a wonderful thing, because I've seen people who got together during the festival, the last two, who are now creating new programs they never envisioned because they met at Touch Mother Earth.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So
it's a bigger thing than me. Touch Mother Earth, what started out as a vision, I really wanted to explore things like permaculture, sustainable living, but at the same time, I'm a hand drummer. I have my Earth Movers Drum Collective, but I also promote things like sound healing and Reiki through my body harmonics. So bringing them all together for this weekend ties it all together very neatly. Then there are the visions that other people have and they want to share. And we've evolved. We're not exactly the same festival as year one, yet we've got all of the emphasis of year one, plus the things that didn't happen that I was looking for, plus the ideas of the new people who have shared greatly with me. And I really honor and treasure them for helping to co-create this wonderful weekend.
So, speaking of your long-term supporting people, you have some people that are on tonight that you want to talk to about where the festival has been, and I'll bring Sharon and Deva onto the program. Hi, Sharon and Deva.
Thank you.
Hey, Dave. Hey, Alan. This is Deva Vidya.
And this is Sharon Silverstein. Hi, Alan and Dave.
We are from Way of the Sacred, and we're excited about this year's festival, as we have been for the last 3 years. So thanks for having us on the show.
Welcome, ladies, and you two are an example, somebody who individually came to the festival, and now you've gone off and created your own programs, plus you also support Mount Eden as well. And I really honor that you have grown spiritually. There's been such depth. You bring people to Mexico for retreats. You honor the feminine rising that we're all seeing, the goddess energy that even the men are accepting, and kudos for both of what you do.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, Mount Eden has been a really special place for both Sharon and myself. We have ran many retreats there, as well as participated in Touch Mother Earth. And the place itself is a very sacred portal of energy. It's as many of you know, it's a sacred Lenni Lenape land, and so we have done many beautiful ceremonies there: sweat lodge, fire walks, TP ceremonies, as well as our retreats. And people have had really powerful experiences there, as well as at Touch Mother Earth the last 2 years. And so we're really excited because the work that we do, like you said, is about raising up the divine feminine energy. And that's what the festival is really about too. Touch Mother Earth is really honoring the divine feminine as Mother Earth, and to see where we have lost our connection to that divine feminine within ourselves, within the collective, within our relationship with the earth and all of the creatures on the earth. So it's really a beautiful experience to be part of this, so that we can, bring our work, helping others to see how to raise that divine feminine within themselves and the collective, along with all of the other beautiful musicians and workshops and vendors that come to share their perspective of how to also have this symbiotic relationship with the earth, so that we can honor her as the goddess she is, and also as our own body. Do you want me to keep talking? I'll keep talking.
No, I think we're all in awe because you have said quite a wonderful way of explaining not only Mount Eden but the common vision that we need to respect the earth. And if we don't respect ourselves, we're not likely to respect the earth. And it goes back and forth. So having workshops like learning about nutrition or working out of our fear set. You know, one of the beauties of this festival is people get to try something they never have. We have folks who never tried yoga because they don't think they can do it. And we have gentle yoga. We have different ways that they can sample something and then decide for the rest of the year to explore it in greater detail.
Absolutely. And I think it's also the other way, too, is that when we learn how to respect the earth, we respect ourselves. So it's really beautiful that you're having workshops that teach how to have sustainable and symbiotic relationship with the earth as well. So you're learning how to take care of yourself and to tap into that innate wisdom that we all have that is the feminine, and then tapping into remembering how to have respect and honor for our actual, because the earth is our body. We sing that, right? Don't we sing that the earth is my body? So, and she is. And so when we hurt her, we hurt ourselves. And we create an unlivable habitat for ourselves and for our children and for everything that we love. So it's really beautiful how you have brought about these workshops that teach, not just so much about how to have to live a sustainable life, and also how to have a sustainable life relationship with your own self, so that you can sustain your health. So it's really, I totally agree with you.
Deva is right on, because one of the things that we have done to raise the consciousness of people, first of all the food that is sold is organic. There is no reason to be supporting the GMOs, the Monsantos, the Dow chemicals, etc., which goes back to the original protest I did. And then the second part is we're honoring people by saying we don't need paper plates and plastic spoons. We're asking you, bring your own plate serving, bring your own tableware, and we will give you $2 off your first meal, and we'll have a wash station. And we want people to understand the impact of that, because we do not have garbage cans at the event. We only have recycling and compost. And I remember the first year, people would ask, where's the garbage can? And I said, well, what did you produce? It's yours. And they look at me, and then they kind of get it. But when they saw that everybody else was starting to participate, they took on that energy, and then we carried that energy to other festivals. Other festivals started becoming more conscious. And that's what we really need to do. We need to help share in a way that we can wake up, but not do it in an offensive way, just a realistic, practical way. Because right now, if you were to go to the food store and you thought, I'm not going to buy regular salt, I'm going to buy sea salt, the sea salt has minute particles of plastic in it, because the plastic is what's been dumped in the ocean and broken up and mixed with the salt. We need to stop hurting Mother Earth.
Yes, and this is, when Sharon and I, when we're out and about, experiencing life, and we go to restaurants or whatever, and we see all of the, even going to the grocery store and seeing all of the disposable plastic, the utensils, the bottles, you go to a grocery store and everything is wrapped in plastic. So
oh my God, they take a gallon of water and put it in a plastic bag so it's easier to hold, yet the gallon of water already has a handle, yet why are you buying water?
Right, exactly. And so there's all of this, this plastic that is just single-use plastic, and it's just constantly accumulating because it doesn't go anywhere. It just goes to the bottom of the ocean and is continually piling up. And so we try to be as mindful as possible, like you say, using, utensils that we carry with us. And it's really important. So this festival that you're created is really important to teach people how important it is to be mindful of that, to have a reusable water bottle, to have reusable utensils that you carry with you so you don't have to use the plastic utensils. Maybe even carrying a bowl or carrying, some kind of a container so that when you have extra food, instead of getting a to-go container, you can put that into the reusable container. And it's really important for us to start to wake up to that, like you said. And so, yes, you and I know this, but there are so many people who are not aware of how detrimental it is of using the single-use plastic. And so
it's totally true. We each might think that our little part of it doesn't matter. Okay, it came in styrofoam, but you multiply that by the 7 billion people in the world, that's when it becomes a major problem.
Yeah. So Sharon and I, we've been writing songs about this, as Way of the Sacred. That's our duo, our band name. And we've been writing songs to bring the awareness through the music to help people to really understand how this is affecting our community. It affects you, it affects me, it affects our community and our global consciousness and our children that are maybe not even here yet. They're still being born, and we're going to create this place that's uninhabitable for them, if that's such a word. So this what we are learning at Touch Mother Earth is invaluable. It really is. And whoever is listening, I really suggest that you come and that you really talk to each person that's creating these new insights and new awarenesses to have a better way of living and coming back into our awareness and our respect of the earth, like our ancestors. Our ancestors were very, very mindful of how their footprint was on this earth. That everything that they did was respecting the earth, and they knew that it had consequences. And so everything that they did did with the future in mind, and how it affected everything, how it affected humans, how it affected the animals, how it affected the water, how it affected the land, everything, how it affected the trees. And so that's what's happened in our culture, is that we really have gotten away from seeing that bigger picture. All we see really is what we want right now, what can satisfy our immediate desires and needs, and not really seeing beyond that.
A perfect example is we switched from glass bottles that you paid and got a deposit back when you returned it, and now we are single-use plastic, as David mentioned. And I don't know exactly when that transition happened, because it didn't happen overnight, but we began to accept it. And even as that happened, you needn't buy water in any container. Water was safe, it was free, and now people buy a plastic bottle. They don't even finish all the water in the bottle, and they toss it in the garbage. So not only are they wasting water, but they're having to purify it. And then the plastic and all the petroleum that goes through that, and then it ends up dead end. And one of the things we at our festival are offering is water is free. No water is being sold. Water should be the right of everybody.
That's a basic human right to have water, clean drinking water.
Thank you, Sharon. Sharon, you have had some really importance in this festival, because you and I go back 15 years or so through. You were probably the first person that introduced me to kirtan, and then as we've evolved through drumming and other things, you were instrumental in bringing a school teacher who brought one of her students up on your stage last year who talked about kids don't even know the garden. They're not connected. And this kid is holding a worm up in front of the microphone, and we're all watching, and the teacher's explaining how she went from teaching the kids about gardening to actually gardening to getting a $10,000 grant so that she could build a greenhouse. The kids then went on to grow, and what they grew then became on the food menu. That's progress. That's where we need to be going. We need to return to some of the simpler arts. Gardening is an art? No, yes, but a passion. Everybody should have at least a little something, even if you don't have a garden outside. You have a windowsill. You go grow a couple herbs, and then you cut them and put them in your food, and it's fresh, it's organic, and it happens right at that moment. Sharon, you have you were very instrumental in Sharon last year helped to make sure that we had a really good quality music stage. Dava has been helping me with the website. She got me started last year when I took it over, and this is community. We work together as a team, and it doesn't end at the end of the festival. It's a year-round thing. Sharon, can you talk a little bit about your group, the Peace Project?
Sure. The Peace Project is my band, and we're going to be performing on Sunday at 2 o'clock. And all the music that is created there on stage is original music written by me, performed by me and the Peace Project. And it really is all about raising people's vibration through the resonance and frequency of the lyrics and the music, so people can awaken to who they truly are, which is love. And love is where we can connect in with each other. We are all hardwired for connection. So when we really want to have a relationship, a symbiotic relationship with the planet, the first place to start is with ourselves. And that's where the teachings of the music come in, teaching the spiritual laws. And these spiritual laws can be learned. These are our tools to awaken ourselves and awaken each other, and to have successful, sustainable relationships with each other and in our community and on the planet, with the planet as an organism unto itself. So, there's going to be amazing musicians that take the stage at Touch Mother Earth. And we are here to support the mission of the festival. So thank you, Dave, for having us back.
You.
I think this is our third year at the festival.
And with that, for people who want to know about the festival, you can find it online at www.touchmother.com. And if you are a Facebook person, it would be Touch Mother Earth 2018 Weekend Retreat. And we encourage everybody to get your tickets early. We have some discount offers right now. You can show up on any of the days. We try to make it affordable. So if you just wanted to come and check out the music and the vendors, it's $25 a day. If you were curious about even one of the workshops, it's only another $15. So for $40, you can come. And then if you want to come the whole weekend, we start Friday at 4:30 to the public. We start with a drum circle. We then are doing something new this year. We've done a blessing of the earth in the past, but we decided it should be the opening ceremony. And we're looking into the possibility of planting a tree, because a lot of trees came down in everybody's property, but 7 came down at Mount Eden. And we feel it's our obligation to at least replace one tree, if not more, to keep the growth going. We have to think about not what we're doing today, but what the next generation or the third generation or as in the indigenous folks would say, 7 generations. Somebody that will be born when you're no longer alive. We need to be able to protect the earth in a way that the great-great-grandchildren don't have to worry. And right now our society is not doing that. We are killing the planet. We're hurting it at the very least. And with this disposable society, we're not showing any respect. We think that garbage, when you put it in the can, disappears and is taken care of by some magical force out there, and it's not true. It's building up in mounds. It's just not prudent.
Can I address that, Dave? Because it was something that
Please.
yesterday.
Hang on, folks. Let's address that on the other side of the break. So I'm going to play a song, Dave the Bard, Howland Toe, and we'll be back on the other side of the break. See you in a minute. See you in a few minutes, folks.
Okay.
Take no scorn to wear the horn. It was the crest when you were born. Your father wore it, and your father wore it too. Highland Toe, Johnny Rumbelow, we were up long before the day to welcome in the summertime, welcome in the mail. For summer is a-coming in, and winter's gone away. Robin Hood and Little John have both gone to the fair, and we shall to the merry greenwood to hunt the buck and hare. Oh, Highland Toe, Jolly Rumbelow, we were up long before the day to welcome in the summertime, welcome in the mail. For summer is a-coming in, and winter's gone away. What happened to the Spaniard? The made so brave the boast, oh, that they shall eat the feather goose, we shall eat the roast. Oh, Highland Toe, Jolly Rumbelow, we were up long before the day to welcome in the summertime, welcome in the mail. For summer is a-coming in, and winter's gone away. Send their peace upon us, bring peace by day and night. Oh, Highland Toe, Jolly Rumbelow, we were up long before the day to welcome in the summertime, welcome in the mail. For summer is a-coming in, and winter's gone away.
Tune in to International Pagan Radio. You can hear your favorite artists such as Dave the Bard, Tuatha Dea, Spiral Rhythm, S.J. Tucker, Murphy's Midnight Rounders, and many, many more. Join us for exciting shows like Ask a Witch and Storytime with Rook as well. www.internationalpaganradio.com on the net or on TuneIn Radio on your mobile devices. Join us on Facebook and Twitter too. International Pagan Radio, all pagan, all the time.
Welcome back to An Emerging Forest on the Spiritual Unity Radio Network. We hope everyone was able to stretch their legs and get a drink. And now, back to Alan.
Well, welcome back, everyone. And Sharon and Dave are back with us. Go ahead, guys.
Dave, hi. How are you?
We're sacred.
Sharon and David Vidya. Thank you for having us here.
Thanks, Dave, for all the work that you're doing.
The two of them, some of us know the saying Namaste, but they take it the next step. It's Namaste all the way.
All the way.
And these two charge my battery. They give me energy throughout the year. We promote other events beyond Touch Mother Earth Festival, and it's a cooperative. We are a community, and we're not just a community of one tribe. You may be into the yoga, which would include kirtan, but you might have other practices, whether it be drum circles, sound healing, understanding the gardening aspects, why we need butterflies, why we need the bees especially. And then you have folks that don't want to lose the ancient arts, whether it be distillation to make tinctures and essential oils, or people who help us identify the plants. In your yard, there are at least 20 things, as long as you don't spray chemicals on them, there are at least 20 things you could eat, bring it right inside, and you don't even have to grow it. It's already going on its own. Then you got folks that do sound healing, whether it be the Tibetan bowls that are out, the crystal bowls, and then there's the Reiki energy. So you've got that going on. And then you also have ancient practices like Tai Chi, which help us to just calm ourselves and work. And then we've got newer practices like not everybody has ever taken a chance where they were blindfolded and danced. Mm-hmm. Or we have people like Dalian, who's also known as 13 Hands, who he himself had to go through the doctor telling him he had colitis and Crohn's and all these things, and they were going to put him on medication. He said no, and he turned around and went raw and juiced, and he came back to the doctor, and the doctor said, I don't know what you did, but you got rid of all your intestinal gut problems. Keep doing it. And now he teaches the public how they can help themselves find their own mission. And then we have a woman like Michelle Kenya who works with kids to say that you have a safe space in your heart that nobody can ever take away. And one of the things that she did in the first year, we have a musician, Mirabai Moon, and she brought her son Max, and Max took that class, and during the closing ceremony of the first year, when we passed the talking stick, he talked about what he had learned. And the second year, he asked his mom, is that lady going to be there again? Because I really want to go. And he did. And then later at another festival, I got to see him actually perform on stage on a ukulele. And he'll be back this year, Sunday morning, where he's grown just because of these workshops. Kids are totally included in this festival. And if you're under 16, you're free. We want to make it as affordable. We know they're single parents. We know they're parents with 3-4 kids. We'd rather you come, be able to enjoy, whether you have money to shop the vendors or you just want to check out the music. The food is healthy. It's a good experience where you're going to find things don't fit maybe your Monday to Friday, day-to-day lifestyle, but we're going to open you up that this is the challenge. This is the way, whether it be reducing plastic or eliminating it, the food being healthy, the workshops teaching you something, and just coming away with a positive experience, a community that supports one another. And I'm proud that Dava and Sharon have each done their own project. In fact, Dava has just recently written a book. Dava, could you share a moment?
Oh, absolutely. Thanks, Dave, about speaking about the book. I just wrote a book. It's called Awakened Priestess, and it's a book that helps women to reclaim their innate wisdom and power. You know, women have been suppressed throughout the ages. Actually, not just women, but the entire feminine energy. You know, the masculine energy in men and women has become so out of balance that we have forgotten the power and the wisdom of the feminine energy. So this book addresses that and helps women do the work on their own. We also do this work, Sharon and myself, with retreats and workshops that we do. Like we'll be doing the workshop at 10 o'clock at it's at 12 o'clock at Touch Mother Earth. So we'll be doing that with the men and the women, really helping them to access that feminine energy that's perhaps suppressed within each one of them, and helping them to raise that up so they can come into a balance with the masculine energy. And so that's what the book talks about, Awakened Priestess, which you can find on my website. It's deva-vidya.com, DEVA-VIDYA.com. And the work that we're doing in the workshop at Touch Mother Earth, and also at our retreats that we are doing. And we're also doing a workshop at Soma following up.
You have one June 16th, I believe.
Yes, that's right. And you're helping us to produce that. So I thank you. So we have a lot of beautiful offerings that we're working through with that to help women and men now. We started just working with women, but now we are bringing in the men also to help them to reclaim their own feminine nature, because many men have been told, that they should not have emotion, that they shouldn't cry, they shouldn't, they should be strong and suck it up and have power over their woman, and it's a very we've been working with men now and really seeing how damaging it is for them as well, not being able to express their own feminine nature.
It goes both ways, and this whole Me Too movement has shaken up society in such a positive way. I know it's caused a lot of emotion for everybody, but the men are now saying, I got damaged too, or I was taught the wrong way, or I'm sorry, I didn't know. And you two are leading us into the next stage, and that's very critical. Thank you both. Yeah.
Oh, you're welcome, Dave. So, it's a really powerful experience to be able to help people do this, and these women that we've been working with have had such huge shifts in even just 2-hour workshops that we do. And then when we do these weekend retreats and the week-long retreats that we do in Mexico, these women that we have been working with have had major life changes in really reclaiming and stepping into their power. And so we love the work that we're doing. We really do. So I would love for everyone to come to our workshop on Saturday at Touch Mother Earth at 12 p.m. and to please come and hear our music at 4 p.m. on Saturday at Touch Mother Earth as well. Our website is wayofthesacred.com for that.
And then Sharon will be on.
That's a beautiful introduction to. Do you want to set this track up a little bit?
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's play it, please.
Sharon, why don't you set up the song? Tell them about the song "Way of the Sacred."
This song was really spurred on by meditation that David and I were in, and realizing not only is the land sacred when the water was being threatened by the pipeline going through the Dakotas, and we realized it's not just only sacred land there. It's all sacred. All land is sacred. All trees are sacred. All water is sacred.
All beings are sacred.
All right. So, Yeah, so the song was inspired by a meditation, and we were at Jacobsburg Environmental Center, actually very close to where we're situated right now, and we
For
always
water
do
ceremony.
the ceremony there. And we were standing in the river, and that's where this song was birthed. It was stones speak of the way, trees rooting the way, rivers carve the way. We are the way of the sacred.
And with that introduction, here is Way of the Sacred.
We are the way of the sacred. Follow the way, honor the way, lead in the way of the sacred. Follow the way, honor the way, lead in the way of the sacred. Ancestors knew of the way. Ceremony held in the way. Tribes honor the way. We are the way of the sacred. We are the way of the sacred. Follow the way, honor the way, lead in the way of the sacred. Follow the way, honor the way, lead in the way of the sacred.
I so love that song. These ladies blow me away with their energy.
So, Sharon and Deva, do you want to give your contact information, where people can find you? And we already have an idea of when you're performing at the festival. So, and Deva already gave her website. So, how much more is there?
Oh, well, we can just, if anyone's interested in our music as Way of the Sacred or any of the retreats or workshops that we do, please visit wayofthesacred.com. And again, my website, if anyone's interested in the services I provide or my book, it's Deva, DEVA, Vidya, VIDYA.com.
And they can always go check out more music from Sharon Silverstein and Peace Project with SharonSilverstein.com. Thanks a lot, Dave. Really appreciate you having us on the show.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Hey,
Thanks for being on.
Namaste all the way.
Hey, thanks, Alan.